Hello, welcome to another video tutorial with Kukura Capital. In this video tutorial, we're going to be going over the average directional movement index, which is abbreviated as your ADX. It's a great tool to measure how strong your trend is, and also it's a great tool to indicate whether you're in an uptrend, a strong bullish trend, or a bearish trend, or an ranging trend as well. So it's really straightforward. To apply this to your charts, you go to insert indicators, and then you see as your average directional movement index, and some platforms is just referred to as your average directional index, and it's always abbreviated as your ADX. Now there's three components to this really great indicator. You have your main line, you're going to see that, and then also you have, as you could see here, you have your plus DI and your minus DI. Now your plus DI represents your buyer's pressure, and obviously buyers represent an uptrend. They are bullish and push the price up, and your minus D represents your sellers. They push the price down. These are your bearish traders. So in this case, I'm just going to choose some really nice colors that are rather distinct. I'm going to go for green for our plus DI, and I'm going to go for red for our minus DI, and I'm going to choose, yeah, that's pretty much fine, and then I'm going to press OK. So you can see the three levels that I was speaking about. You have your main level here, which is the solid line. It really depends on how you choose, what format you choose for your lines, and this basically shows us the strength of the trend. So as you can see here, you have a scale between 0 and 72, and the idea is when you have your main line, which in your actual ADX indicator, which indicates the strength of your trend regardless to the direction. This line, it's very important, does not represent the direction of your trend. It only demonstrates the strength of the trend. So you can't assume because it's going up here that your graph is going up. As you can see, they do not correlate. However, it is representative of the strength of the current trend that is happening. You can see this is a strong trend, and you can see this is quite high in the scaling. When you have your ADX, this main line, low around your 20s, below your 20s, is an indication that you are not in a very strong trend. Now a good way to identify which range you're in, you can go to your view and go to data window. It's a really great tool to show you where you are in your levels. So if you go here, you can see your ADX is at 15.4906 when we're over there, and that just shows you that you're in a very weak trend, because below 20 is a weak trend, and then anything above 50 plus that is a strong trend. As you can see here, this is a clear downtrend, and we're seeing the same reflection in our ADX. Now in terms of knowing whether it is a bearish or bullish trend, you can use your plus DI and your minus DI. Now when your plus DI, which in our case is the green line, is above your minus DY, it means that you are in an uptrend, and the buyers, the bullish traders, are leading and overtaking the sellers, and you can see that is the case as we have here. Here you have your plus DI above in this case, and you have an uptrend commencing, and then exactly here where you have your minus DI, now above your plus DI, you have a downtrend. I'm just going to highlight this, and do know if you want more information, we do cover this in our slides that are available on our website at kakuracapital.co.za. So I'm just going to draw another shape so you can see that they do correlate, but the only problem is that people misinterpret and think that they can just simply watch this movement, they see it down here and assume that it's exactly mirroring, and that's not the case. This ADX line is an indication of the strength of your trend and not an indication of the direction. The direction is indicated by your plus DI and your minus DI. When you have your plus DI above, as you can see the green line above your minus DI, that is an indication that you are in an uptrend. To indicate the strength, then you reference to your ADX and see where it is on the scale and how high it is. If it's above 20, you're in a relatively strong trend. If it's above 50, you are definitely in a strong trend. Why is that important? Now this obviously will indicate to us when a trend is about to end, or how long or how short it is going to last. Now it is very sensitive and it picks up on the smallest deviations in your chart. So this point here where you have this downtrend, it's and then it was going up, it's reflected here where you have your minus DA going up and then your plus DI going above and then going below as well. So it is a very sensitive indicator, and if you're very attentive to it, you'll be able to pick up good opportunities to enter or exit your trade. So I'm just going to use the same indicator on a different currency pair. In this case, we're going to do it on our Euro USD, and this works for any time frame. So I'm just going to use a smaller time period. But obviously, when it comes to trend trading, ideally you want to use the larger time periods. So your 4 hours and plus, but it works for any time frame. So we're just going to use it for our 30-minute time frame. So we're just going to go to insert indicators, and then we go to our average directional movement index, which is abbreviated as ADX, and then we're just going to say okay, these settings are perfect. I just want to make the actual ADX a bit thicker and then press OK, and here it is. And as you can see, as I told you, it's abbreviated as ADX. The default parameters are really good unless you do want to play with them and adjust them. 14 is actually ideal. And then as you can see in this case, this is a really good example. You have a strong uptrend. I'm just going to take the trend tool and draw a rough uptrend here. You have a strong uptrend occurring, and you can see that your ADX is above 20. If you go and click here, it's at 37.1260. So that's a good indication that you're in a good trend. And as the trend starts to weaken, your uptrend starts to weaken, you also start to see when it starts going down, you start seeing that you get an indication that things are going down because your ADX is now 15.7793. Now to indicate that it's a uptrend, you can see your plus DI is above, and you can see that your minus is below, and when it's a downtrend you have your minus DI above and your plus DI below. So if you have any questions or any queries about the ADX, do feel free to contact us. It's a really straightforward, simple tool to use. It's very useful for confirmations. If you are someone who wants to know how long you should be in the trade, or you want an indication of when a trend is going to start fizzling out, this is a perfect tool. Also, the best thing about it is that it separates your your interpretation. It distinguishes between the strength, distinguishes between the direction, so it's not all jumbled into one thing, which is really good. You can analyze the strength. I mean, this is a strong downtrend. I mean, the ADX is at 64, which is a very high, and it doesn't really hit lower than 20 for some time, so you would know, okay, I should just stay in this trade for some time and make more pips. And I mean, definitely it would have been a good indication. You can also use these plus DI and minus DI lines to enter and exit a trade. Obviously, just like most of our trending indicators, when you do see a cross between these two, it is an indication of a change in the trend. So some are more significant than others, and it does pick up on smaller changes within your chart. Obviously, the smaller time frames are more susceptible to this. I'm just going to use a large chart just to demonstrate that when you have a large chart, a time frame, you do have less crossovers within your ADX, so you can also consider that. But you can also use it as a great indication of when to also enter and exit. When you get crossovers between the two lines, it is an indication of the change in your trend. So that's your ADX, very straightforward. If you are watching on YouTube, please don't forget to like or subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.